In politics, alliance often looks strong from the outside, but sometimes behind the scenes there are tensions, disagreements, and a lot of bargaining. That seems to be the case with the latest electoral deal between DMK and the Congress in Tamil Nadu. After weeks of tough negotiations, the two parties finally reached an agreement. The Congress will contest 28 assembly seats and get one Rajya Sabha seat. But the road to this deal was far from smooth. In fact, if William Shakespeare had followed Tamil Nadu politics, he might have called this episode Much Ado About Nothing. For weeks, there were rumors of a possible split between the allies. The Congress had demanded 41 assembly seats, but in the end, it had to settle for 28 seats only, three more than the 25 seats it contested in the 2021 assembly elections. The Congress leadership was also hoping for two Rajya Sabha seats, but DMK chief M.K. Stalin refused to give more than one. This clearly showed who had the stronger hand in the negotiation. At one point, the situation became so tense that former Union Minister P. Chidambaram rushed to Stalin's residence to help save the alliance. And in the end, it was Stalin who seems to have the last laugh. But why was the DMK so firm? One reason is simple: political arithmetic. Stalin has to accommodate other allies as well. Parties like Vijay Kant's DMDK and Kamal Hassan's MNM also need seats in the alliance agreement. At the same time, the DMK wants to contest the majority of the seats, around 175. Stalin does not want a repeat of 2006 when his father M. Karunanidhi could not secure a simple majority and had to depend on outside support from the Congress to stay in power. So from the DMK's perspective, keeping the seat share under control was very important. But the bigger issue here is trust. During the negotiations, some Congress leaders reportedly used the Vijay card, hinting that the party could explore an alliance with actor-turned-politician Vijay's TVK if the DMK did not meet their demands. There were also reports that Congress leaders wanted power sharing in Chennai, and the DMK believed these demands had the backing of a power center in Delhi. All this created suspense inside the DMK. Even the optics between the two parties looked different this time when Rahul Gandhi wished Stalin on his birthday on March 1st. The message felt more formal. Earlier, he used to address Stalin as brother, but this time that warmth seemed missing. So yes, the alliance has survived, but many observers say it now looks more like a relationship held together with band-aids. The arithmetic may work, but the chemistry on the ground could be weak, and that is a big concern for the Congress. In Tamil Nadu, the Congress depends heavily on DMK vote transfer to win elections. Take the example of Virudhunagar Lok Sabha constituency represented by Manikam Tagore, one of the leaders who pushed strongly for a bigger share of seats. Back in 2014, when the Congress contested alone, he received just 38,000 votes. But in 2019, when the Congress fought as part of the DMK alliance, his vote share jumped to 4.70 lakh votes, giving him a comfortable win. In 2024, he again won with around 3.85 lakh votes. The message is clear: without the DMK's support, the Congress struggles to even remain competitive in many constituencies. But now some DMK supporters are unhappy. For the past 2 months, they have watched Congress leaders publicly demand more seats and negotiate aggressively. Convincing these voters to fully support Congress candidates may take effort. There was also another controversy. Congress Data Analytics Wing Chairman Praveen Chakravarti recently described Tamil Nadu's interest burden as alarming. This statement reportedly angered many DMK workers who felt it was unnecessary criticism. 5 years ago, the Congress performed very well in the alliance. It won 18 out of the 25 seats it contested, giving it a strong 72% strike rate. But repeating that success may not be easy unless the two parties repair their relationship at the constituency level. At the same time, the DMK also needs the Congress, even if it is weak on the ground. Having the Congress in the alliance gives the DMK a national image and helps it project itself as part of a broader political coalition. It also helps maintain support among religious minorities, which are an important part of the DMK's social coalition. That is one reason why Stalin eventually sweetened the deal a bit and agreed to the final agreement. This entire episode also reveals something important about the Congress party itself. It showed that the party may be internally divided. Initially, Girish Chandankar, who is considered close to Rahul Gandhi, was handling the negotiation. But later, P. Chidambaram stepped in, reportedly as part of a move supported by Sonia Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge. This shift suggested that there were different power centers within the party. Inside the Congress, opinions about alliances were also divided. Many MLAs preferred staying with the DMK because they believe it gives them a better chance of winning elections. But some party workers felt that Vijay's TVK might be a better long-term investment. However, there are doubts about the TVK option too. Vijay's party is still a one-man show and it does not yet have strong booth-level workers or grassroots organization. While Vijay has created a lot of buzz on social media, political experts say that online excitement does not always translate into real votes. Another interesting observation is that Vijay mainly attacks the DMK but rarely criticizes the BJP. This has raised questions about his political strategy, especially after the censor board blocked the release of his farewell movie, Jananayakan. Because of all these factors, the Congress leadership eventually decided that staying with the DMK was the safer option. But Stalin still kept one thing in mind. He refused to promise a second Rajya Sabha seat in 2026. Why? Because given the tensions we saw during these negotiations, there is no guarantee that the alliance will continue smoothly all the way to the 2029 Lok Sabha elections. So far now, the deal is done, but the mood inside the Congress is far from celebratory. After the agreement was announced, Girish Chandankar summed it up perfectly when he said, "We are not very happy about the 28 number, but we have to sacrifice and move forward." That line captures the situation. The alliance has survived, but the journey ahead may not be easy. For now, the political roadmap seems to be 2 steps back and 1 step forward.